Controversy tonight over an Instagram post made by a San Diego police officer. What the post says and why it set off a firestorm of anger. Plus, with questions about how officers dealt with protesters during the Donald Trump rally, we are hearing from a police officer with his perspective on how things were handled.
NBC 7 News at 11 starts now.
Good evening. There is controversy a day after violent protests at Donald Trump's rally in downtown San Diego. Tonight, anger over a social media post made by a San Diego police officer. Officers were brought in for crowd control at the rally, but one officer's post appears to invite a riot. NBC 7's Omari Fleming is downtown with the police department's response to this post. Omari.
Well, RD police say they are looking into this matter, and protesters we've spoken to say they're extremely disappointed in this officer's Instagram post. They say they want action taken because it seems like she took their safety as a joke, and as a matter of security, we're not going to release the officer's name. Dressed in what appears to be police riot gear, her body camera prominently showing. We're not naming the officer, but pictures of the San Diego police officer posted on Instagram now sparking the ire of Michaela Glover.
It sends a really bad image for SDPD, and we want answers.
Glover's talking about the caption the police officer posted beneath her picture about protesters she was apparently policing during Friday's Trump rally at the convention center. The caption reads, "Waiting, waiting, waiting. Just riot already, people. Hashtag waiting sucks."
It looks like they were taking it as a joke, and our lives are not a joke.
They post like, "Come on, riot already," and say like, well, so we can use this equipment against you. That's pretty much what the message was.
Garner says she was one of the thousands of people outside the convention center protesting. Protests she witnessed take a violent turn. Though NBC 7 hasn't been able to confirm the time of the pictures, Garner says they went online around 2 o'clock before Trump spoke and before the crowd turned violent.
It's really unprofessional for you to not only be on duty or start your shift and think that it's okay to post what you posted.
A San Diego police spokesman released this statement on the post saying, "Thank you for bringing the private social media post of one of our officers to our attention. We will look into this matter immediately." And a former policeman turned criminal justice professor says he doesn't think that officers should be using social media during rallies and protests such as this because they could say something that is provocative. Now, that officer has since taken down her Instagram page, and her critics say they want to see her suspended. Reporting live at police headquarters, Omari Fleming, NBC 7.
Omari, thank you. Authorities arrested 35 people during yesterday's protest. San Diego police say they are pleased with how officers handled the outburst of violence. NBC 7's Matt Rascone has more on law enforcement's efforts and those who don't agree with their actions. Matt.
Yeah, Artie, San Diego police say the decision to declare an unlawful assembly was a result of violent behavior. They say they provided a safe environment to allow for the freedom of speech, but others argue the opposite.
Protesters turning on police, supporters and opponents clashing in the street, and Donald Trump merchandise up in flames. All of it was enough for law enforcement to gear up and declare this an unlawful or unsafe assembly.
I really believe that the police showed tremendous restraint.
Kevin LaChapelle is a former police officer and criminal justice professor.
It means anyone that's there is ordered to disperse and leave.
What does that mean? Nobody's allowed to have any free speech? I mean, that's just not the way it works.
Brian Pease entered the scene on Harbor Drive after watching the event unfold on TV.
I mean, this is like a military occupation of Barrio Logan.
Pease is a free speech attorney and candidate for San Diego city attorney.
Riot police, full riot gear, batons.
Get on the ground. He argues authorities were out of line.
So I was there with a bullhorn announcing that this is unlawful.
But as you can see in his video, Pease' march didn't last.
Just one person like that, especially an elected official, can start inflaming the crowd and enabling them to where the crowd feels like, well, if he's there, I'm going to go back and I'm going to disobey them.
Like many, LaChapelle applauded the police efforts.
I would have liked to have seen protesters showing restraint.
While people like Pease say police went way too far.
And I was trying to determine where's the stopping point here? Are you going to force us all the way to Mexico?
Now, regarding just how far out police forced protesters down Harbor Drive, LaChapelle says he can see why people don't agree with that, but he says police are trying to get people far away enough so they don't go back. Matt Rascone, NBC 7.